Washington Hotel, your runway's 8 left. Delta 988, just want to maintain 7,000.
7,000, Delta 988.
Delta 744, contact approach 127.25, good day.
12725, Delta 744.
Delta 9895, heavy, just want to maintain 12,000, proceed direct gas to rejoin.
Delta 9895, heavy down to 12,000 direct gas.
Delta 2200, reduce speed to 210.
Flow to 210, Delta 2200.
Des 953, thanks. Maintain 310 knots or greater. Delta 2367 on approach, advise that you have hotel and your runway's 8 left. Delta 988, sunset approach 127.25, good day.
Delta 25, good day, Delta 988.
Delta 322, line approach, your runway's 8 left at Aussie, reduce speed to 280.
8 left Aussie, slow to 280 now, Delta 322.
Delta 1637, turn rating 160.
Heading 160, Delta 1637.
Delta 1637, just going to maintain 6,000, contact approach 127.25, good day.
Alright, down 6,000, 725, good day, Delta 1637.
Altitude. Delta 2237, through 8, maintain 7,000. Delta 7, yeah.
And 120 to join, 5 miles an hour.
Delta 953, just going to maintain 12,000. Delta 2200, contact approach 127.25, good day. Delta 2367, just going to maintain 9,000.
Yep, 9,000.
Delta 2367, when you're able to see direct KJ on the spot.
Alright, so we go right now.
Delta 9895, heavy reduced speed to 210.
Dropping off at your
Is no
restart.
result. You
It's 800 meter kind.
can only have to
in the great American Southwest, I bid you all good evening, good morning, good afternoon, as the case may be, around the world, each and every time zone covered like a big blanket by this program. Midnight in the Desert. I'm Art Bell. It is my pleasure to be here. And I've got a number of housekeeping things I want to cover with you. First of all, no bad language. We have two rules. No bad language and only one call per show. That's easy, right? Easy peasy, as somebody says. I want to thank Telos, Joe Talbot, Keith Rowland, my webmaster, Heather Wade, my producer, and listen to me, everybody. This girl was born with a phone to her ear. If you have somebody you want to suggest as a guest, somebody who would be really good, then you're going to want to get hold of Heather Wade, my producer. So how do you do that? She is producer at artbell.com. Not real hard. Stream guys, lv.net. Sales, Pete Eberhard, of course. Tune in Radio, Leo Ashcraft, Dark Matter News. We're the only ones with a separate Dark Matter newscast right in the middle of our show. I don't think anybody else does that. So, listen, I'm going to ask you all a big favor. Coming tomorrow is the big announcement. I think actually tonight, beginning tonight, we are experimentally on XDS. Now, what does that mean? XDS is 3 letters only. XDS means that we are now sitting inside the satellite receivers of about 4,000 stations nationwide. And by the way, it's open. So all you have to do is flip it on. If you're out there in the radio world, let us know you put us on. Actually, you have to let us know. But it is open. Now, the favor I'm going to ask of all of you is, this is still unofficial. Tomorrow night it'll be official. Please call your local radio station. Ask, if possible, for the manager or the PD, program director, and request Art Bell's Midnight in the Desert. I say unabashedly that we have better content, more content, fewer commercials, 6 max an hour. No infomercials, a self-contained paranormal newscast, and we can provide ratings that will knock your socks off. And stations come on a first-come, first-served basis. So it's going to get a little hectic for a while. But if you would all pick up the phone sometime tomorrow and call the manager and request the show, that would be great, because, baby, here we come.
When Cone Health says...
So, again, personal news. Asia is better and back in school. Yay. My wife had quite a week, all week long, tending for Asia. Now, to the news that is sort of news. First of all, NASA, the big announcement. Mars has running water. I about yawned. Richard C. Hoagland said that 15 years ago on my show. Back then, people laughed. So, there you go. Running water on Mars. Liquid water runs down canyons, crater walls, over the summer months on Mars. They have concluded that trickles leave long, dark stains, which we have seen for a long, long time, on the Martian terrain that can reach hundreds of meters downhill in the warmer months, before they finally dry up in the autumn as the surface temps drop and it freezes. Images taken from the Mars orbit show cliffs and the steep walls of valleys and craters streaked with summertime flows that in the most active spots combine to form intricate fan-like patterns. Frankly, any idiot could have seen that it was where water flows. Scientists are unsure where the water comes from. They think it might rise up from the underground ice or salty aquifers, or condense out of the thin Martian atmosphere. Now, of course, they say it is salty. And that, life as we know it could not exist on that water. It does, however, make possible a colony on Mars. Any volunteers? One-way mission. At least we know you got water when you get there. Anyway, I'm unimpressed by the fact that it would not support life as we know it. Who the heck thinks life as we know it is what it's going to be up there? It'd be life as we don't know it. Sheesh. I mean, what if little crawly things enjoy salty water? What if they thrive on briny water? So, NASA does one announcement a decade late. Minimum of a decade. All right, this is going to start to get to be serious stuff here. About 24 years, well, let me begin here. The United States announced today with a video on CNN that we are doing a $1 trillion nuclear weapons upgrade. So what do? Hop into somebody's living room in presumably Russia or Beijing and say, "Hi there, you're screwed." Boom! $1 trillion, folks. Do you know what $1 trillion can do for us? Anyway, we're going to make them better, we said. About 24 years after the end of the Cold War, Russia and the U.S. seem to be engaged right now, suddenly, in a nuclear arms race once again that could have disastrous consequences, obviously. Russia's deputy prime minister claims that Russia's nuclear weapons can't be stopped by the U.S. They fire them, they hit. That's what he says. So if a war breaks out, they can stop whatever we throw, or we can't stop whatever they throw at us. In a talk show with the state-run Luisa, that's a television channel there, he claimed that Russia has developed a new technology that could easily overcome the U.S. missile system. He's overseeing the modernization of the country's nuclear weapons. Last year, he announced that he would overhaul the country's entire nuclear arsenal by 2020. It is part of his rearmament program that is estimated to cost, say, about $700 billion. So they're roughly spending about 3/4 of what we are, but they're ahead of us now. Russia's deployed nuclear capacity has overtaken the U.S. for the first time since the year 2000. According to a report from the U.S. State Department. Now, this is really serious stuff, folks. What was the Cold War is becoming the Cold War again. I guess you've noticed Russian bombers making close passes by our planes, buzzing our ships. And they are now ahead of us in nuclear weapons, and we're both about, well, we're going to spend more than they will, so I guess we'll be even by then. Maybe? How many times could we blow ourselves into little bits? Well, I want to serve up a little bit of a warning. Tomorrow night, we are going to do a program on global thermonuclear warfare. And I serve up a warning because it is legitimately scary, scary stuff. We are going to talk about how a war might start. We're going to talk about how it might escalate and what the use of those weapons by both sides would be. For those of you that have been busily adding new dates to predict the end of the world, you really might want to listen to this one. That's it. And I also reflect a little bit on Dr. Jacobs. I've got to have David Jacobs back. And I'm going to reschedule him. The invasion that he described of the human race, that he believes is underway right now, kind of like perfectly possessed, I would say, right? Pretty good analogy, think of it. Oh, one more thing. We are still hunting for a wicked witch. That's right, a wicked witch. And when I say wicked, I mean, I guess I can use all the words: cauldron stirring, broom riding, spell casting, mean-spirited. Well, you don't have to be mean-spirited, I guess. But you get the idea. I want a wicked witch. Now, I guess you can be a good person and still be a wicked witch, right? So we're still on the hunt. And if you know of one, and you really need to do a test of wickedness, not wickedness. Wickedness. A lot of Wiccans out there. They're not wicked. So you know what I'm after, right? The tough, mean things. The ones that would, when they walk down the street toward you, you sort of move out of the way because you know if you do the wrong thing, that could be trouble. Okay, I think that gets most things out of the way. We'll go into the XDS thing a little tomorrow. I think we're up there right now, by the way, testing on all those XDS receivers. Coming up in a moment is Nick Redfern. He is a full-time author and journalist specializing in a wide range of unsolved mysteries for over 30 years, to include UFO sightings, alien abductions, paranormal phenomena, cryptozoology, and men in black. The topic tonight. He writes regularly for the London Daily Express newspaper, Portuguese Times, Fate, and UFO magazine. His previous books include Strange Secrets, Cosmic Flashes, and the FBI Files. Among his many exploits, Redfern has investigated reports of lake monsters in Scotland, vampires in Puerto Rico and werewolves in England, aliens in Mexico, sea serpents in the U.S. Redfern travels and lectures extensively around the world, originally from England. He currently lives in Dallas, Texas, and it's really going to be my first line of inquiry to find out why a Brit would decide to settle in Dallas. What if he wears a 10-gallon hat, straps to the side, all that stuff. Hey, everybody. Raging in the night. This is Midnight in the Desert.
She's got something that moves my soul, and she knows I'd love to love her, but she lets me down every time. Can't make her mind.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than Saquon Barkley, the NFL's reigning leading rusher. I'm also the NFL's leading husher. Shh, hush up back there. Wow, I might have just set the hushing record. Well, almost. For your insurance and finance. I can see for miles and miles.
Strikes 12, and Midnight in the Desert is pounding package your way on the Dark Matter Digital Network. To call the show, please direct your fingertips to the 1-952-225-5278. That's 1-952-CALL-ART.
That'd be me. Hi, everybody. Let's do it, shall we? I have a lot to learn about Men in Black. Nick Redfern, welcome to Midnight in the Desert.
Hey, Art. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thanks for being here. And I'm curious, Nick, it just doesn't seem to me that most Brits would pick up and, go to Texas. How did that happen?
Well, you mentioned in my bio that, I work as a writer and also a journalist, and I do a lot of freelance work for other authors as well, like hired research and things like that. And I actually got offered a job which went on for about 3 years, but it required me to be over here because the person who was employed was writing a book and needed somebody to do the research for him, but a lot of it was based around the Dallas area, and so it sounded like a cool gig to do, and so I came over and I got the job, and then applied for residency and did all the legal paperwork stuff, just in case Donald Trump's listening.
Actually, you know what? I hear your British accent is fading a bit.
Is it really?
Right? Yes, it is.
Oh well.
Are you?
It's been 15 years. So.
Are you yet saying y'all?
No, I've never actually got around to doing that yet, and I don't have the 10-gallon hat quite yet. But I like the Dallas area. You know, it's sort of a cool city, and it's got a good, social scene, and not far away from Austin and San Antonio. So it's sort of central, and as I said, I've been here 15 years. Did all the legal immigration stuff, and
isn't that fun?
It was just I didn't have any problems with it. I mean, it was just a case of filling out the paperwork and just waiting for the return of the paperwork, and then the next document has to be signed and so on. But there was no issues as such. It was just a process I expected to go through when I interview you, of course, and background checks, that kind of thing, which makes sense. And that was it. Everything was sort of very smooth, cordial, and weren't really any problems at all.
Really glad it went well for you. All right, so it's hard to get started with this kind of thing. I guess you don't get to Men in Black until you get to UFOs. Is that fair?
Well, for the most part it is, yes. I mean, everybody thinks of the Men in Black and they obviously think of UFOs, and I think for the general public, because of the success of the Men in Black movies, their first thought is Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones in terms of how the Men in Black look and act. But if you look at the real reports of the Men in Black, they're actually very, very different. They're sort of quite creepy and strange, and they're not always tied with UFOs, although for the most part they are. But there's so many different strands and angles to the Men in Black mystery that's what makes it so fascinating, in terms of, well, who are they, what do they want, and where are they from? There are so many different issues and cases and odd quirks in relation to the Men in Black that, I've actually written 3 books on the subject because there's so much information and so many different theories for who or what they are.
Would you guess that their original mission began with trying to stop UFO stories in their tracks?
Oh yeah, I mean, the so-called modern era of UFOs began in '47 with Kenneth Arnold's famous sighting over Washington State, the Cascade Mountains. However, although there were 1 or 2 early Men in Black reports in '47 and '48, for the most part, the whole thing didn't really kick off until 1951. And this revolved around a guy named Albert Bender, who lived in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And Albert Bender was someone who set up an organization called the International Flying Saucer Bureau. And there were a lot of small UFO groups, regional groups at the time around the United States, the UK, and a few other countries, such as Australia. And they may have had a circulation of 40 or 50 here, something like that. But Bender's organization, the IFSB, really took off big time, to the point where he literally had circulations in the low thousands, which was really good, for 1951, 52. And the subscriptions were coming in from all around the world, and the magazine that he put out under the International Flying Saucer Bureau banner was doing really well. He's having sighting reports sent to him. He's been asked to do radio shows and even TV shows, and everything was running smoothly until suddenly the Men in Black intruded on his life, and it all went downhill from there for Albert Bender, and it was a very sinister situation for him.
Can you describe what happened to him? Did he describe it?
Oh yeah. Well, what happened was, as I said, the image that most people have of the Men in Black is from the movies. You know, the idea of a super secret group within government, or some sort of like a black budget program that operates outside of government.
So in other words, people need to understand that the movies followed the reality, not the reality following the movies.
Well, certainly the movies were based upon, you know, the real reports in terms of how they dressed and the threats.
Right.
But if you read from Bender's experiences onwards, the Men in Black in reality actually don't sound physically and, you know, in terms of what they look like their movie versions. For example, pretty much a good, I would say, 95-96% of all the cases, and this begins with Bender, the witnesses described them as sort of only about 5 feet tall to 5 feet 5, very strange looking, very pale skin, no blemishes or lines on their faces, almost as if they look like a mannequin in some respect.
I was going to say an alien.
Well, actually, you know, that's one of the things. I mean, you mentioned, for example, David Jacobs. I mean, the interesting thing about the Men in Black mystery is there are some eerily close parallels in some of the things that David Jacobs has written about and researched that ties in with the Men in Black. In other words, very sort of human-looking entities moving amongst us, but when you have a good look at them, there are things about them that just don't seem right. And that's what Albert Bender said, that he would get not so much visitations, but he talked about how he would see these shadowy figures, and in some cases they would even sort of literally materialize in his bedroom. And he described them as having, as I said, very pale skin. I guess today, you know, we would talk about them almost looking sort of overly Botoxed, you know, very strange looking, emotionless, no lines. And Bender said that they essentially spoke to him in a telepathic fashion and warned him to leave the UFO subject. And Bender, I guess like a good UFO researcher, he did as he was told. He left the subject.
Oh, he did. He caved in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he absolutely caved in. And what happened was that he closed the IFSB down, the International Flying Saucer Bureau, cancelled his magazine, and a lot of people who subscribed to it, as I said, in the thousands, thought this was some kind of publicity stunt. You know, when you see a band and they say they're going on their final tour, so you better come and see us now, and then they come back 5 years later. That didn't happen. That's what everybody thought, though. And Bender was so petrified by these repeated encounters, and he said he saw the Men in Black sometimes following him in the streets late at night, and he'd be coming home from the cinema, and they'd have these sort of long black trench coats on and black fedoras and these piercing eyes, and it was sort of very menacing, and almost in some respects his stories, not so much Men in Black, it's almost like X-Files meets H.P. Lovecraft. It's sort of like a gothic horror story mixed in with UFO conspiracies.
Well, you realize that his behavior, as you described it, could be described as a classic psychological symptom as well of paranoia.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that Bender was paranoid. I guess the thing is, you know, was it a psychological paranoia, or was he driven to paranoia, or was it possibly both? And what's interesting, that in terms of Bender's story, it's a fascinating one because he was a very sort of fascinating character with a lot of facets to his character, in terms of he was deeply involved in the occult, for example. I mean, heavily, sort of seriously dark occults. He actually created, for example, what he described as an altar in his attic, to try, of all places, to try and summon up supernatural entities.
Oh.
And he actually wondered if he kind of opened a portal or a doorway to allow something paranormal through. That was one of the theories he looked at. But yeah, I mean, you can look at some of the aspects of Bender's life and see that there were significant psychological issues. By his own admission, he developed OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, but he said that was due to the fact that he became so terrified by this situation. You know, he'd be repeatedly checking the front doors were locked at night and the windows were locked. Then he'd go and check again, and that kind of overtook his life. So, you know, it's a case of which came first, and did one provoke the other. So, you know, it's a fascinating case history of a man steeped in paranoia, and at the heart of it all, these sort of almost gothic men in black.
Well, Nick, I think that it's more than just a theory. I think that if you put up an altar, as you mentioned, if you call upon these things to be part of your life, if you want to be involved with them, that is a very, very strong invitation in the paranormal world for whatever's out there to come and, at the very least, have a look. And, yeah, I mean, you open something, you allow something in, and once it's in, it doesn't always, like a good visitor, leave on time.
No, you're right. And I mean, I've done a lot of investigations and interviews with people who've sort of delved into, you know, paranormal phenomena, think it's all cool and exciting. And the more they get into it, they find themselves, I guess, surrounded by entities that they've called forth, that they not really sure what they are, but, you know, they cause havoc in people's lives.
Oh, they do. All right, Nick, hold tight. Nick Redfern is my guest. We're going to be deep into the Men in Black this night. So keep that in mind if you have a UFO sighting, because I guess these guys are still out there working.
Welcome to Art Bell Somewhere in Time. Tonight featuring Coast to Coast AM from May 24th, 2002.
From the high desert in the great American Southwest, I bid you all good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever it may be, wherever you are, because we're everywhere. This is Coast to Coast AM, and I'm Art Bell, and tonight it's open lines all the way through. Now, I did solicit ideas from all of you out there about what tonight might be, and we've got about 3 winners in my estimation. I really like this idea. I've never done this before, but Marianne Ludwig of Palmdale, California writes, "Hey Art, I've got an idea for a topic tonight. How about verifiable predictions for the next 6 weeks?" She says to 90 days. I'm thinking she's so right, but let's hold it to 6 weeks. Predictions the next 6 weeks. Far enough in the future to bring a little anticipation, but soon enough to get some satisfaction. A percentage get reported. If you want to make it a prediction about terrorism, fine, but I was not asking specifically for that. I want to be clear. If you want to stick your psychic neck out and make a prediction about any large event that's going to occur, you know, I guess is on everybody's mind, right? But it doesn't have to be about that specifically at all. Any big event. And something you think will come true in the next 6 weeks, then I'll record it and we'll find out short term how good you all are. Now, don't just throw something into the wind. In other words, if you have a strong psychic sense that this event is going to occur,
then pick up the telephone line. Don't just call to hear your voice on the air. We really want to get some predictions down that have a really good chance of coming true, and the best way to do that is to ask you not to be frivolous, not to frivolously make any prediction, but to think it through and to somehow, with some sort of knowing, that's what it's all about, right? Recite your prediction. So there you are. With that in mind, here's where we begin. First time caller line, you are on the air.
Morning, Art.
Good morning, sir.
Hi. Geez, what a night. Anyway, I was going to tell you that it's Bob from L.A., but in here in Encino, you remember the vice president was stating that first of all, let me start out that everybody was screaming at Bush, stating that he dropped the ball, so now they're telling us everything, so. And what the vice president stated is that we may have some attacks on America and here and there, and he said apartment buildings blowing up.
Yes.
Well, right after he said that, today here, we're in my neighborhood, here in L.A. in the Valley, one blew up.
A gigantic explosion, and they're suggesting that it perhaps was a natural gas explosion.
Yeah, not at all.
That's like saying, sir, that when something falls from our atmosphere, it is a meteorite. They don't have the slightest damn idea at this point.
I have a ham radio. I'm a ham radar operator, and I listen to all their frequencies. I listen to the fire department, okay? And what's sort of funny is James Hahn was there, okay? Our mayor. What was he doing at a fire, okay? And it's funny. He's telling the media, oh, it's a gas leak, and then they're talking to the fire chief, and they're going, we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
How does he know it's a fire leak? And they don't know what it is. The FBI's there. They're going, oh, FBI's there.
They do know, and it could be terrorism. Who the hell knows at this point?
Right. You know what's happening right now is that it's really crazy. I've been watching. I mean, it's not odd, but I know where a few people from the Palestinian nation are, where they hang out here in the valley.
Yeah.
I've been watching these people and seeing them falling really close next to them. And what he said about all these terrorist attacks, like people blowing up malls and stuff like that, it's giving these people ideas. And I think these people, I've watched a few of them, and it may sound crazy. These people, I've been hired by President of the agencies for working on work and stuff. So I'm really good at being physical and like shows work. And I stand right behind these people. I follow them around to libraries or wherever they go. And I'm one person, I'm really scared that maybe going to do something with a female.
Well, listen, sir, if you really believe that, then you need to go to the FBI right away.
Yeah, but you know what? It's really crazy. These people, the ones that I've been watching, they're not crazy. They're actually a threat. I've seen some people actually talk to them. They're like, Brian, I don't know what's wrong with these people. There's something missing out of this puzzle because these people...
Well, I do, sir. Listen, what it is that if you were a Palestinian, if you were of Arab extraction in America right now, you wouldn't be having much of an easy time of it, would you? I mean, you really wouldn't have an easy time of it at all. You'd be watched. People would stare at you. Everybody would be uneasy around you. And everybody has got to remember that most of the people of these various, of Arab extraction specifically, are fine people and do not wish us dead. You've got to delineate between the average population of the Arab world and the fanatics. And I'm not suggesting they are few in number. There are many fanatics who want us dead, D-E-A-D, dead. And so to delineate between the two is impossible for some people, and so a lot of very innocent people are suffering here in America. So if you're wondering what's wrong with them, you don't have to wonder very long. That's it. Wildcard line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, is that me?
That would be you.
Yay, this is so cool. I've been listening to you forever. I have a monster story.
Oh, you do? Where are you?
Yeah. I'm actually at a rest stop in Arkansas. My husband and I drive truck, and I'm the night driver.
That must be kind of cool. Two of you getting this. Yeah, that's kind of neat. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm sitting under the moon right here, which I'm thinking it kind of just like the same night I'm talking about. This is about 9 years ago. California. I like to walk around in the woods a lot by myself, and I was playing a little flute, and I was singing along, and I went out there for a couple hours tonight. I exercised. And I sat on a ridge, and it's kind of a horseshoe ridge. I'm on the highest part of the ridge, look about halfway around this horseshoe, and there's someone coming up over the ridge. So I'm thinking, oh, it's somebody that I know.
You saw them, or you heard them, or what?
I see a flashlight coming up over the ridge.
Gotcha.
So I think
Gotcha.
it must be someone I know. So I'm getting up from where I'm sitting, and something in me told me flatten. So I sat back down on the ground as fast as I could, and I looked across the ridge.
That's a really ancient sense that we have. If something tells you you're being stalked, the word is stalked, and you know it, and the hair on the back of your neck stands up, and you know it's time to hit the dirt. Right on.
Yeah,
Yep.
all my instincts are going, oh.
Yep.
So I'm looking across the ridge. Now, this is past the person who's walking up over the ridge. This is on the opposite side of the horseshoe. I look over into the trees, and it's a bunch of California scrub oak, and those are really reflective on the moonlight. I'm sitting kind of above them. And I see this shadow, darkness, come up out of the trees. And it's such a soft movement that I'm not even thinking anything, right? I'm just watching this, and what I'm seeing is wings, and this thing must have been easily 10 feet tall. It was huge. The wings were almost as long as the body was on this thing.
Sounds like Mothman.
Well, yeah. At first I thought it was a demon, and then I heard you guys talking about shadow people, so I thought it was that.
Well, have you seen the photograph on my website?
No, I haven't.
Okay, it's a 9/11 photograph.
Okay.
And it shows this. It's a pterodactyl that is near a building, and it's absolutely monstrous. It occurs, it was photographed during the 9/11 event, and it looks exactly like what you're talking about.
Oh, so creepy. So I'm watching this thing, and the movement is so soft. It's not using its wings to fly. It's almost like they're being used to direct it. And it slowly lifts up in the air, like I said, comes back down, and it does this twice before it gets to the person. Again, this person is about halfway between me and this thing. And as it lands next to the person with the flashlight, who has been aiming its beam on the ground, the beam of the flashlight, suddenly the flashlight comes up, and this person is whipping around like its flashlight is trying to find whatever it thinks is. I mean, I'm speculating this person is feeling this thing, because this thing does like 8 little, again, touches the ground, lifts up, goes in a circle around this person. I'm watching it tease this person, and this person is whirling in a circle, trying to see whatever it is.
So you're watching an attack.
Kind of. It didn't do anything to the person except
maybe it was waiting for them to fall down dead of fright, you know.
And I'm watching it, and this person suddenly throws the flashlight and just runs down the back of the hill. I mean, if they were so scared that they even threw the flashlight, ran down the hill. Well, I'm thinking, okay, and it slowly lifts off the ground as the person leaves, and it's aiming towards me.
Oh, my God.
All I can think is I shut my eyes, and I just kept saying, I am a blade of grass, I am invisible, I am a blade of grass, I am invisible. And it made about, the first touchdown about halfway to me, and I'm tweaking my eyes a little bit every once in a while, and I just started thinking of the music.
All right, we are going to have to pick up some fuel before we get off to the next leg here. Let's do a quick temperature check as I
about halfway, it was in the air, and it just kind of floated back to where it originally started.
Lucky girl.
74, not terrible.
Ran down the hill as fast as the other guy did.
That sounds like Mothman. It sounds like Mothman. We'll let the audience digest this one and see what they think, but sounds to me like you're lucky to be alive.
I was wondering, after I heard the Mothman show, the one thing I was really glad of, at first I thought, after it happened and it was all done, I thought, oh, the energy coming off of it was so fast. It was so old. It was so, God, it was like if you met somebody like feeling those things, you would go over and put an arm around them. But then I heard you show on the Mothman and the red eyes and how people get paralyzed.
That's right.
And after I heard that show, I was so glad that I did.
Always love some Mark Bell in the
I did
desert.
not wait for it to come
Hope
to
everyone's
me.
having a good day.
There's actually two things that occur. Thank you for the call.
Oh, thank you.
The first is there's a mortal moment. And hunters will tell you.
Not sure why we have two
Say
audio
no.
tracks running there.
There's an instant, or sometimes more than an instant, that we share this with animals to some degree now. In human beings, it's largely blotted out by contemporary environment and experience and all the rest of it, but it is not gone. It's in us as much as it's in animals. The animals just pay attention to it. We don't. There's this mortal moment when you know, even though you may not know what it is that's about.
Okay, let's wait for that passenger swap. Find some fuel.
Is after you, and you can feel
and then
it.
one more leg
And it
back
may
home.
occur an instant before death or a minute before death. Animals know it. When a hunter's got a bead on them, they just know it for an instant before that bullet goes. Animals that are
Do
being
we have any
stalked
space missions
by
actually
others
coming up
suddenly
here?
know it, and frequently too late. But there is that mortal instant, and that's certainly what she experienced
we have
when
a
it was
burn
hit
in
the
2
dirt
days.
time.
Going out to
And then, of
Midwest.
course, she perhaps saved her own life
Passenger change
by
has taken place.
thinking as she did and virtually making herself invisible. What a program last night, huh? East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Yes, hi. My name's Mark, and I'm calling from Bradley, Illinois, and I'm listening to you through 890 AM, WLS in Chicago.
The big monster in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yes.
You may not remember, but I talked to
coming
you
up,
back on
actually.
Halloween last year.
Really?
Yeah,
So once we get this flight,
Must have been a-
we
must have
skip
been a
ahead,
ghost
looks
to
like
ghost show.
around
Yeah,
30,
story
45
about
days.
the place up in Michigan, and it was
We'll
the
have
first
two
full
big
moon that we had on Halloween in 55 years.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, you might remember it. Anyway,
Okay, where is that?
I wanted to express my deepest concerns about the prediction that Sean David Morton made on the April 11th and April 12th show.
And that would be?
That's definitely more than enough.
He predicted that a red Mercury bomb device.
That's right.
Yeah, would be used, and I pray to God that does not happen.
Yeah, those are good things to pray for.
Right. I also just wanted to predict maybe the Lakers will win it in 7 games. I don't know. But I wanted to ask you one really quick question.
I'm putting Lakers in 7.
7 games, they'll win the 7th game by 4 points. I don't know. But
Yep.
I wanted to ask one really quick question. Are you accepting what they call snail mail still? I wanted to send you some music that reminds me of some of the really good music of the 60s.
No, not yet, sir. I tell you what, we're trying to figure out what to do, and we may route it through our Oregon office, but the more I think about that, the more I don't want to subject them to the same danger that I'm trying to avoid myself. So we just don't have it worked out yet. You know, all I can say is we live in damn dangerous times, and we don't have it figured out yet. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you very much. Sorry, I wish I could give you some address. There will come a time, I hope and I pray, oh God, I hope so. But you have to understand that as a national talk show host, people in the media are natural targets. I mean, that's already been proven. And somehow I don't think we're done with this. Like, I kind of thought we were done with it, and then they hit the IMF and the World Bank building, and I don't know. I can smell something out there that's going to happen. I don't know what, but I can smell it. And so we're hesitant, obviously, to accept that kind of mail. Moreover, my wife, Ramona, was the one who opened mail for me and then would sort of bring to my attention, some sort of screening process, bring to my attention what seemed important. And so I'm not about to risk her life, certainly. And now that I think about it, I could give the Oregon address, and then they would be exposed to that danger, too. So not for the moment, and we haven't got it figured out yet. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Am I?
You're on.
Okay, I'm Matt, calling from Auberry, California.
Okay.
You're Fresno. You're on KMJ in Fresno.
Indeed we are.
Okay, I want to make a quick prediction, then I want to ask you a question.
All right.
Sarah Fisher will win the Indy 500.
Sarah Fisher?
She's qualified row 3, the 9th position.
Okay, wins Indy. Got it. You're number 2, by the way.
Okay.
All right.
I referred you a while back to a book about UFOs going into and out of the water called Invisible Residence.
Oh, yes.
By the late Ivan P. Sanderson. Have you been able to find it?
No.
Okay, if you can't physically get to a used bookstore, although Vegas should have, good share, try Amazon.com. They have a used book searcher. You just type in the title, and they should be able to find it for you. And when you get it, you'll find some very interesting things.
All right. Well, I'll tell you a story. I had an incredible caller. It was during some open line session weeks ago. I'm so ashamed to say, I have so much paperwork here, and this man told a story about being in the military and recovering.
Right, we are
from the
just
ocean
ready
floor.
for takeoff.
And it was an incredibly
spool up the engines here.
Fascinating, riveting story. And I put the man on hold and took his contact number, and I turned this place upside down.
Okay.
Looking for it. I lost the damn thing. I wanted to call the man back, and so if you're out there, please get
I'm
in
gonna
touch
need
with
some
me
glasses
again
for this.
and give me a phone number again. I am so sorry. It somehow got caught in the blizzard of paperwork around here, and no doubt
KSP runway,
I went outside,
5, 600, not even 500, 400
kilometers. And that thing just flat disappeared.
That will not take long at all.
Give me his name and number, and I was going to follow up and do a whole show with this guy. It was an unbelievable story about what he recovered at the bottom of the sea. And I go and lose the number. Unblinking believable. So if you're out there, send me that number again, sir, and we'll get you on the air. Undersea stuff? Oh, yes, we've heard about it here. Friday night, Saturday morning. Headed into
Ooh, that's pretty hopeful.
The trip back in time continues with Art Bell hosting Coast to Coast AM. Or somewhere in time.
Be this way. Barely see the icon there.
Colors are black. It's not that the colors aren't there. It's just imagination they lack. Everything's the same back in my little town.
This is a bit of a trip. Temperature check, 177, 179, 176, 177, 181. 181. I do not like seeing those numbers. How do I pull this thing off?
Presents Art Bell Somewhere in Time. Tonight featuring Coast to Coast AM from May 24th, 2002.
It's a beautiful night in the high desert. Outside right now, almost 70 degrees. My little town is beautiful. Good morning, everybody. I'm Art Bell, and this is Coast. And listen, we're doing 3 things specifically tonight, but of course open lines and anything in general is fine. But we're asking anybody out there.
I think what we might try and do is check how the fans are installed on this laptop cooling thing. Maybe the fans are configured to be pulling instead of pushing air up. I really need to be pushing air up into the laptop. I mean, the keyboard, not that I'm touching it because I've got a joystick, but it's too hot to the top of the case of the laptop where the speakers are and the monitor connects. Like, this plastic is soft.
Predictions for the next 6 weeks.
literally melting my computer.
Something you think is going to occur very quickly. Some large event. Doesn't have to be connected to terrorism. I know that's on everybody's mind. How could it not be? But it doesn't have to involve that at all. This could be a prediction involving anything at all. And so when you call, I will give it a number, and within 6 weeks, we'll know how y'all fared. So far, very innocuous stuff. Lakers, he says, in 7. Sarah Fisher wins the, not much. It may be a nice, quiet 6 weeks, but then again, we haven't taken that many calls yet, have we?
Looks like you can go right down through there. I think that was Art Bell lightning strike.
Somewhere in time. Tonight featuring Coast to Coast AM from May 24th, 2002.
Here we go again. Open lines all the way. Wild, make that first time caller line. You're on the air. Hello.
And at 250 kilometers. And I think that wraps up our airline contracts. Let's just do a quick doubly check here. This is the harbor store to Kerman Atoll. Oh no, we did pick up that other one.
Well, you have, and so just sort of take a deep breath and tell me where you mean.
I will.
30-day camping trip. Yeah, we'll get back to that.
I don't know what to do too. I have two things. One is I was introduced to a nurse.
Kohavi Sands launch facility 7. It's kind of not worth it. Let's wait and see if we can pick up a second Kohavi Sands contract, or maybe a Desert Airfields contract. Because the Desert Airfield is 200 kilometers, maybe 250 kilometers from Kohavi Sands. I think it's a really nice flight. Even with just the turbofans on without the afterburners.
Wait till I finish the story. You're not going to believe what's happened before.
I'm trying to get the story.
I realize.
You know somebody who works at Area 50?
Well, I don't know him very well. I am trying to hide at this point.
Why?
And keep a low profile because I've had mental health and the police at my door. They were wanting to take me away.
Why?
Haha.
Because of my experiences.
I've heard this call.
What experience? Slow down. What experiences?
The video footage that I have and the memories that I have. What I've seen.
Hold it. Slow down. Okay. What video footage?
I have video footage of someone being brought back through a closed window, and they were not in solid form. And I need to get this to you. I need an address as well before we hang up. I need an address.
No, we're not accepting mail like that. Here's what you've got to do. Listen to me very carefully, all right? Find a friend who owns a computer.
Oh, yeah.
That shouldn't be real hard.
No.
And almost anybody who's even a good quarter of a geek, let's say, knows how to turn video into a video file very quickly.
All right.
And they can be sent to me that way at my email address, which is artbell@mindspring.com. Okay.
Artbell@mindspring.com. Got that, folks?
That's the way you can do it.
Okay, I didn't realize that. I thought I could just send it in the mail.
All right, now you've had UFO experiences as well.
Oh, yes. Some of the video footage that I have, it's exciting, and you'll truly want to see it. And so anyway, but some of the encounters and some of the memories I've had of being taken.
Bizarre how Cove looks closer.
Like I say, I'm not in that case, and this is very real.
Are any of these sexual in nature?
No, they're not.
Okay, all right.
But what happened with the doctor, he told her that he did not want to speak to me, and so. So anyway, the next.
Is there another airfield? Oh, there it is.
Worked for Area 51 for over 10 years. I knew not to call him, Art. I knew it.
Then why'd you call me?
Because there was a moment in my life that I wasn't in control.
All right, so I
down to 75 kilometers.
In other words, you went to this doctor and
they start coasting her in here pretty quick.
Coming after you came after that, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right,
with somebody, for example, being dragged through a window in a half-formed state, then trust me when I tell you, we will have no problem believing you at all. And I guess she went to the wrong person.
I think we might have gone through quite a few air sickness bags on this flight.
For that many years,
We were murdered a couple of times.
Best thing for somebody to do. She made a big mistake there. At any rate, said the evidence is really good. Video evidence.
Always to a supersonic at this altitude.
I realize that anything can be faked these days. Nevertheless, video evidence in my mind is high on the scale. So get it to me, we'll get it up. Wildcard line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, this is Bobo.
Yes, Bobo.
Yes. I'm an amateur radio operator, and I travel with a circus.
You travel with a circus?
Yes, that's correct.
Really? What circus?
Circus Vargas.
I know Circus Vargas very well. As a matter of fact, I once got on the back of a motorcycle, Circus Vargas, when it came to
Las Vegas, Shriner?
No. I think it was in Central California somewhere. Anyway, I got to ride behind this guy all the way to the top of the big top, and then back down backwards on a motorcycle. I was out of my mind.
I never heard that.
Yeah, I got to do that. It was cool.
Oh. Well, I never experienced that. Well, I've been with him about 3 years.
It's like being on a rocket ship, sir.
As a matter of fact, I go to bed with you here every night. And at the winter quarters on Lucerne Valley, yours is about the only company I have in the evening.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah, Lucerne Valley is beautiful, but it's very, very lonely. Anyway, I've been out of amateur radio for quite a few years, and I'm just now getting back.
Okay, we are back home again.
In fact, I'm going to the Redondo Beach PRW SWAT meet tomorrow morning.
Along with about
Thanks for bringing us there and back, Art.
Good for you.
And I'm going to try and set myself up as a little, as a Wicked DX contact. And, I'll be on the air like an hour every evening, and the end of the show, the lights out. And I got it from all over the state of California, different locations.
Oh, I'm sure. Tell me something. What's it like working for a circus?
Well, it's a traveling show. It's show business.
Yeah.
The talent and the management are all former talent. They're all
Okay, let's shut her down. Everyone, get off.
Everybody intermarries. You have people.
I was going to say it's a really, really tight group, and you're saying
might have to actually take it back to the shop and replace this crew cabin. I think, unfortunately, though, the wings are attached to it.
Nothing on the circus.
I hear you.
In fact, I'm positive the wings are attached to this piece here.
How long have you been doing this now?
Well, this is my third.
Which is why I haven't gone in, because I mean it's trying to replicate the wing procedure or position.
So I'll be able to leave and make a decent living.
Oh wow, look at that reflection.
But I hooked up with the circus because I was getting my theater degree.
Insane.
Well, that's an experience you'll never forget for the rest of your life.
I'll tell you something.
All right, I think that was our message saying we are good to go. Let's
okay.
And,
hopefully recover this plane, complete a contract.
I've had some management experience before, but this is quite an experience.
I'm sure it is.
But showtime, you get ready for the show, and it's exciting. I tell the superintendent we are ready to receive the public, and it's just a thrill.
It's got to be. Yeah, that's an awesome.
What do we got here? No science. However, we did get actually 2 science because there's a science that goes along with the contract, and we have the bonus, which gives us an extra science point. A little bit of extra money too. Okay, where are we? Year 11, day 275. Year 11, where were you? Year 11, day 275. Okay.
Yankee service station call in reference to ticket number 015-683-78 for the shared drive request to move boulders to its original location. That's been done for years, so you probably do see that.
These guys here, they're on their way out to Minmus. It was a fairly inefficient launch in that we left at really the worst time possible. So they've done one burn, got them halfway out there, and that made for pretty good timing so that they arrive at the end of their second burn. However, they've got 2 days until that comes up. Let's see how things are going. This, of course, is the WNL, the Weird New Lander. Fairly well equipped for science, as well as redundancy. Lots of room on board. Room for 5, but only bringing 3 now. Let's get ourselves into position for that next burn. 13 meters per second. And we've shut down all the outboard engines. Let's turn this down. Come on, there we go. Let's turn this down to say 43% thrust, no 35. Still a pretty tiny burn. It's almost like we don't need to use engines. 13.4 meters per second. Yeah, let's go ahead and just drop that. Is that wired up to the control group? No, it is not. Easy there. We haven't got any of these engines active at the moment, but we do want to be controlling from here. And we'll complete that 17.7 after dropping that stage. Probably should have done that a little bit closer to periapsis, but let's see what happens. Something just got recovered there. Oh, that was our plane. Next up, reconditioning the launch pad in about a day. No, that was about an hour. This burn comes up in a day. Oh, but the Eve rover is going to be ready in about 5 hours. I'm not sure how far along that is. I kind of think I might want to go check on it. I'm thinking that it actually is ready to go, but I don't know if I checked the staging, and I don't think I put launch clamps on it. All things. Pretty ugly, pretty basic. 18, 13, 17, 2.2 thrust weight ratio, 2.08, no, there we are, 1.95 at takeoff. I don't think I have even attempted to bother recovering that, so let's not even worry about it. We'll just toss this one into the ocean and get those launch clamps put on. And always make sure that there's lit engines before we release launch clamps. 4 engines up here. These are the swivels. And what have we here? Ah, yes, this is going to be an extremely low thrust to weight ratio stage. I don't know if we tested it to make sure that the fairing doesn't destroy that solar panel. I'm not liking the looks of that. Let's redo this fairing. Guess I could slide these up a little. Too far because this stage is here. That's going to be literally a ballistic re-entry. Speaking of which, does this actually have the full heat shield? No, it doesn't. Let's knock that up a little more. Okay, let's rebuild that fairing. That is going to be re-entering Eve's, or entering Eve's atmosphere at interplanetary speeds. So it's going to be interesting. We're not going to try to get this relay into orbit first. We're going to drop the Eve rover maybe 4 or 5 hours away from the Eve's actual atmosphere. Maybe a little bit longer than that, we'll see. And this fairing is going to be really ugly. Let's try that. So once we drop the rover here, it's completely on its own. It has no propulsion whatsoever. Oh yeah, that's super ugly. Awesome. Well, let's finish building it. These are only going to add 45 minutes to those edits. One thing about construction time is that your edits always go to the bottom. So if you don't remember to move to top, they sit at the bottom at 99.19%. Okay, 45 minutes as they reconfigure the fairing and bolt on those launch clamps. Okay, looking done. Just take it for a test ride, just to make sure that the staging and the fairings and everything seems to work okay. I don't believe this has actually been tested, like at all. Actually, that's not good. All right. Using the KRASH Crash Simulator mod. Lets us do simulations of built aircraft for a fee. running fee, so don't walk away without ending the simulation. We're starting off with a sim cost of 1,640 Thunder Rudies and climbing fast. The more complex the vessel, looks like an RPG. Yeah, it does, isn't it? This is Eve Rover. The Eve Rover, actually most of the Eve equipment is going out on their own. We're not going to have a lot of time to rebuild equipment if things don't work right the first time, as that window's coming up really quickly here. 195 days. Minimum of 60 days of building still ahead of us for the main part of the mission. Lots of thrust for this weight. You can turn that ratio down a little bit. Pitched over a little earlier, but not bad. Of course, it is a simulation, so we'll keep that in mind for when this actually flies. No recovery on this equipment, so we're going to hold that booster right to apogee. Yeah, it's a real lob into the air there. Not much of an effort to get downstream. Is this fairing even staged? I don't think it is. Oh, there it is. Staged. You see how the staging is all jimbilied up here. We'll just sort that out at some point. I guess we can see if we can deploy it here at the end of the burn. Oscar the cat joining us here for a launch. So, did we lose anything? Is the question. Doesn't look like it. I think we need to reconfigure that fairing so it's not quite as explosive. So what's the next staging event here? These engines relight a few times. Yep, so we can get a small boost and then the rest of it here. What's that thrust to weight ratio? 0.7? That's not dreadful. Not sure we have enough delta V on this thing. 1,300 meters per second to boost to Eve. Wait, no. That's 950 plus 90. 80 course correction. 1330 to enter. Okay, so let's see what happens here. This is enough to get us to our encounter and a little bit extra. Then we're going to shed some mass. Goes from 1806. Shed some mass. Say goodbye to that rover. Goodbye, rover. Woof, woof. Oh yeah, that gives us like another over 1,000 meters per second of delta V. That should work. Now, do these solar panels deploy without unnecessary chaos? Yes, they do. And even though it's uncontrolled, we should still be able to extend antennas, retract antennas, has solar power, enough electricity to survive re-entry, science, and parachutes. Why are there two of these? I see, that's right, we have one to drop the heat shields. Grip pads for when we get down, and a rover that has a slight chance of actually working. Any lights in this thing? No. But it does have an arm in case it finds something of value. Okay, that wasn't bad. And so the edits in the RPG Eve rover. Oscar, what do you got in your mouth? Oscar is intimidated by the laptop cooler. Normally he just trundles across my desk, but the laptop cooler has dissuaded him from doing so. That's interesting. Okay, Good. That's good. That's good. Don't know if we launch the propulsion stage or the space station stage first. I'm kind of thinking the space station stage first, so let's put that in the top priority. The top build queue has slightly more speed than the second one, so it goes from 29 days to 33. So if we move this to the top queue, it goes from 33 days to 29. The propulsion stage takes another 12 days. Alright, we still have our Minimus mission here to complete, of course. Safe for good luck. Let's scoot around. Just make sure we don't miss anything and scoot around to our burn point. Seems like the control from point has changed. I think I have that wired to a button here. That's fine. We just need to be on the right axis since we're only using RCS anyways. Doesn't really matter which direction we're pointing. I think from this control point, it's this one. So it is. Okay, we're using RCS to finish off our min-miss encounter. Just 9 meters per second left. Let's have a look, see how things are. Oh, looking good. Let's just shut this down. Ideally, we are supposed to be bringing back the sample to this polar orbiting space station. So let's see what we can do there. Not Dell. I should Dell. There you are. All up one. Come on, give me all up one. Set as target. Really neat is to raise that, but we'll do that a little later. I'd say that is a pretty good encounter. In 13 days, just after the bad PP is finished. Let's head back to the tracking station. All right. Where were we? Something like that. Okay. That is our next stop. 12 days from now. Solar panel has failed. Whatever. Not on anything important. Okay, I'm reasonably sure that... There it is, done. I'm reasonably sure that bad PP is ready to go, but let's just take a look. Pretty ugly, but it does get us there and has a ridiculous amount of delta V. this very small docking port hopefully will be sufficient to accomplish the needs. I guess we'll find out. How's our staging looking? Not correct. We need to light the engines first, then release the clamps. Oh, I see. I had that correct. There is multiple stages of clamps here. Alright, so engines, clamps, other clamps. Skippers with 2 lights on them. Good to know. I can relight these skippers 1 extra time. And that is it. You better be up in space at that time, but according to this, we should easily be in orbit. I'm not sure how much control is in here. I'm not sure there's any control in here. Yeah, that is a massive oversight on the designer. Let's cancel these edits. I was reasonably sure I made a version of that that had control on it, and if it's the one that's still in the build queue, I'm gonna look spoopy though. And apparently it's raining at the KSC today. Alright. There's one that hasn't... No, that's the one that's built. Here's one that hasn't even begun to build. 28 days to construct. Let's hope that's not the one we need. We don't need a 28-day delay before we've even got off the ground. Zoinks. No control here either. Okay. Well, that's good and bad. It's good that we don't have to wait 28 days for that to complete, but it's bad that we have to go back and modify that thing. We have to do it right now, because we are running low on time. 83 days goes by very, very quickly. Are we to unlocking those enhanced docking ports? Are they? No, it's up here somewhere, I think. Let's find docking ports moving on that tree. That's about right. So there's the normal docking port. Here on this one. Pretty sure I haven't unlocked it yet. If I haven't, I haven't put it on this design. It's also not ideal. Telescoping clampetron docking module, very unique. No. Opposites. Starting to look like it's not even an option yet. Oh, there it is. So, 300 science points. I was kind of saving that 432 science points for some modules. You could research it. Swap those docking ports out. We did test the two of them together in orbit in a simulation, and it seemed to work. Backup plan is to bring struts along and have an engineer weld them before we leave. Thanks, yeah. I'm glad that everything is calming. The world's an exciting place. Nice to stay mellow from time to time. I think we're gonna skip the senior docking ports. It wasn't designed with them. I'm reasonably sure we tested them. Hello, cat. So that was bad PP, fully assembled, back into the VAV. Kind of hoping that we have RTGs unlocked. I don't think so, though. Probably gonna have to run this cat up to the top floor, as she tends to need ferrying from time to time. So let's finish this modification, get it back in production. Queue, quality control for these. Probably gonna need some propellant. Actually, this should have monocrop in it, but it might not. Oh man, it doesn't. Does it really not? Wow, I really dropped the ball on this design. Do I get points for at least observing that I didn't put monoprop on this thing? Oh, it's not going to need a lot. and some power. And some antennas. Oh my gosh. It would have been hilarious to drop this thing off into space with no way to control it. No communications, no batteries. Speaking of which, what is the battery? It's ridiculously small. I think there's any battery. I think that's the second stage. Yeah, it doesn't have any battery. Alright. Better to discover this now? Panel. Fuel cell array. Don't have liquid fuel on this thing, or oxidizer, I should say. No, it is not looking at all like we have the RTG. What is this? What is this thing? Oh, that's that big, large, weird one. Yeah. Actually, that might work here. Well, we don't really need retractable, so let's just stick with what we know. Didn't need much of an antenna. So we'll not be going far. Okay. And those edits are costing us 5 days of our schedule. Oh well. Better to discover it now than to have discovered it as we abandon it in space without communication, navigation, or power. It is still raining at the KSC. Cat tensions are climbing as this cat is asking to be taken upstairs. What do we have? Oh, we gotta put this back in the queue. Move to top. And it's now 5 hours away. Okay, it'll be a minute while I run this cat upstairs. Sorry for the delay here while I have to step away. I think I'll go ahead and leave the stream running, as this should not take too long. In the meantime, enjoy some ambiance and camping. Okay, we are back, and it was a spooky storm that passed over here. Well, we're in the world in Carmen San Diego, weren't we? Right. On the way up the stairs, I realized I did not fix the over-aggressive, I guess you could say, ejecting of the payload fairing. So let's set this to 4 sides, clamshell on, lowered force. And that doesn't take any time. Interesting. Fantastic. Hello again. Alrighty. Ooh, that was bright. Top. Instantly completed. Let's bump this up 1. And because this is really kind of half a rocket, let's just go ahead and scrap it. We haven't even begun it yet. And we have one under construction. We will duplicate, and that will work better. Bump this up. Ooh, one more. There. Alright. That E window is 83 days away. We don't want to launch that too soon, as it will. They age. Rockets will age in space. Take radiation damage. So, let's say where we are. Year 11, day 219. Let's skip ahead a little bit. So what do we have? We have 3 launch pads. That one's at north, and we have, okay, that's north, and that south is available, and Maine is available. So let's just go ahead and get that rolling out. So it's out. Don't have to think about it. So here comes our Nimbus landing. Hopefully try to wrap up one of those final terrestrial contracts before we move off to the Eve mission. And then, of course, after that will be a Duna mission. We should probably start building that equipment. It's only 209 days away. However, to complete the Duna mission, we don't actually have all the parts on lock. We plan to build a fairly good-sized base there. Perhaps even mobile. We'll see. What are these guys doing? Right, they are about to cross into Minmus SOI. Probably should have considered raising their altitude. Not a big deal. I'm twisting that the wrong way. Well, we don't need to encounter it yet, do we? Getting on a nice inclination is advisable. So let's try that again. We want a round orbit, but we want it on the same inclination as our target because our contract is to take a sample from the surface to the station. Yeah, I think that's close enough. Okay, so who's doing the braking here? That'd be the lander. And that will be gotta make sure I only have one set of engine attached to that. I might have others. Yeah. The top stage on dock. You know what? Let's just do this. On. Off. Control from here. You're right, the solar panel isn't broken. I'm not sure exactly why not. This is a slightly different variant. It's very possible, actually, that the command module was completely rebuilt for this. And just the capsule was adopted. Good memory, though. That's hilarious. I'd forgotten about that. I think that is 182 meters per second. These little, not really engines, Vernier engines. But you put enough of them on a rocket and it can be used as landing engines. With the advantage that they can be relit 17 times. That's pretty good. force them in love with having to use it for braking, but we do have an engineer on board. We can always refurb. Let's see, we're crossing right over the North Pole. And comfortable spinning of the 8-ball below us. Sluggish on the reflexes there, but we are more or less in orbit. Minmus Flats is our target. I'm pretty sure we don't have to guess. Minmus Space Station. There's all up one. Am I allowed to lower the orbit of that thing? Whatever. Later. Do I not have a... What do you call it? A scanner? Anywhere in orbit here? Yeah, that's us. That's too low. That's garbage. All up one. All up one definitely does not have a scanner on board. So I don't have a scanner in orbit. Well, that was dumb. So I really have no way to know exactly where Minmus Flats are, other than that they're going to be flat and on Minmus. Okay. But we will have to guess at where we're landing. But that will be for another time. I do appreciate you stopping in, watching me slowly play an ultra slow, mega, unbelievably slow burn career. And eventually, we will get some actual rockets out of the Kerbin system. Thanks a lot for joining, and have an awesome evening, morning,